Hey guys, this is Mistress Nightmare here. I don't know if we have ever read or finished reading this story, but I'm going to reread Falling in Love with Slenderman. Before we get started, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe to this channel if you guys want more creepypasta fanfictions out there. Until then, let's get started. There is a slight warning before we get started. Read at your own risk. This tale of love, horror, and death. It is not an original love story. This is far more sadistic. Get catched up in the tangle web of the true Slender Man. Parish Village, England, 1734. The city burned. Everything was a blur, orange and red. The shadows were blistering and dangerous. Nothing could be seen. It was impossible to grow from the burning homes. The scent of flesh filled the air in a horrific night air. Scream rang through the barely living dim drums followed them to death. This sight was pleasant to the man who started the fire. He chuckled loudly to himself as he watched the hysteria unfold below him. He found terror faces of his victims joyously. He could hear them call for one another. He could hear the breaths of the lives slowly ticking away from their loved ones. A wicked grin spread across his face. He crossed his arms over his chest, his eyes lit with excitement of the kill. He had never seen such a lovely sight and never caused such devastation. It was his first time doing this, but he clearly was not going to be his last. An elder woman gathered up the ruffles of her long skirt and tried to flee the scene, but he wouldn't allow it. In one swift movement, he was in front of the woman. Taking in his true form, his long limbs burst through his torso like spiders. His legs expanded that he towered over nearly 12 feet above the frail woman. His face became white, non-existent. The shock of the woman looked up at him, fearful eyes. No one had ever seen such a sight as him before, or at least never lived to tell the tale. The stories of him had gone for years and years, and yet no one had proof. And yet, just like a fairy tale to most, he was clearly real. He was clearly going to make sure that he left his mark on this desolating town. Please, please don't hurt me, the old woman pleaded. He could see her hair was graying from many fine wrinkles formed on her face. Once he would be taken pity on this woman, but he would have let her go freely and erased her memories. But no, he would have done that. His mercy had left him 100 years ago. He simply stared deeply into the woman, blank, dead eyes. He knew that this would do to her. His own thoughts oozed into her brain, his thoughts filled with pain and agony. They would have been so much for a simple human woman. Her mouth open agog, trying to release a petrified scream that he caused. Her eyes slowly, painfully dulled as her life was taken. Her death was not been pleasant, just like the other victims. Some say he only took the life of children, that it was just telling stories. Of course he killed small children. He had no limits. He would kill whatever he felt like he wanted or needed to. He just wanted to take life of countless peoples in cities, men, women, children. But that it is what he does, because he is the Slender Man.